You know, like I said, as a competitor, I respect him. You know, that's the next best guy in the division.
I heard all week, all month, since the fight got signed, everyone's like, oh, Kobe's in his head, Kobe's this, Kobe's that, he's gonna gas out, fight emotional. I'm telling you guys right now, the reason I'm the best in the world is because my mind is stronger than everyone in the division.
Like I said, my mind is better than all these guys in the division right now. To where, you know, those guys dictate how this is gonna go. If they've done the homework the appropriate way and they come prepared, then, you know, they might be able to pull out a different fight out. Like you saw in the Covington fight. He came prepared and he pulled out that type of fight. But if you don't come prepared, it's gonna be a one-sided, like every last one of my fights. It's gonna be a one-sided beating. So.
Adesanya is my guy. That's something that me and him have to discuss. There's a difference between fighting and competing. If me and him decide we want to compete and the UFC's throwing $100 million at us, then we'll make it happen.
There's been other guys before that they were, oh, this is tough stylistic matchup. These guys are tough. These guys are this. These guys are that. You know, but I think what sets me apart from everybody else is how I'm able to use my mind and my fight IQ in fights. And that's what I think sets me apart.
No, I wasn't. I was catching him with some left hooks, but you know, I was kind of overreaching, and I made a lot of mistakes tonight. But you know, my coaches told me to kind of settle down, work behind the jab. I know I hit way harder than him. You know, sometimes you guys get me when I come in here and I could just dominate a guy with the wrestling. You know, I don't just stay with my striking long enough. But guys, I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna keep improving, and I'm gonna give you guys a show each and every time, just like that.
You know, I come from humble beginnings. All the way from Auchi, Nigeria. I never dreamed that I would have a platform like this to be on this stage one day. And when this little girl came along, she lit a fire under me, Joe. She lit a fire under my ass, and I got going. And here I am, baby. Here I am, Daddy did it.
Well, after I went to go visit him, you know, the first few times, and I realized in the room, in one of the visitation rooms, they had TVs all in there, you know, so they could watch, and I could see some of the channels of Fox Sports 1, and back then UFC was mainly Fox Sports 1, and so you know, I kind of thought about it, and I wasn't in the UFC yet. Thought about it, and said, oh, you guys get this channel? And they said, he told me, yes, we get this channel, we watch this here. Started wrestling on the Olympic scene. I started running into like MMA superstars, having them bring me out to help them train. It's like, man, like I could kind of do this. Like I'm training hard, going overseas, wrestling at these tournaments, and if you happen to win these wrestling tournaments with all these tough Russians and all that, you getting like $2,000-$3,000. And I'm going over here helping these UFC fighters, and I'm dominating them through their training camp. I'm really beating them up. Whenever I'd get a call for a fight, when my manager would, you know, get that call, first thing I was gonna ask is it on Fox Sports 1? And then if he told me, okay, it's on Fight Pass, no, I don't want that fight, I'm okay. Or if it's on pay-per-view, I don't want that one yet.
You know, all throughout my career, on my journey to where I am now, you know, I make this statement to where I say I've been classically trained. And what I mean by that is, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be around some of the legends of the sport. I mean, being around Rashad Evans, you know, actually learning from him and picking up certain tips. Guys like Eddie Alvarez and George Santiago, Jay-Z Cavalcante. You know, I truly believe I was blessed and I was classically trained and you know, and being able to learn from all of these guys.
Just content. You know, that was about 30 minutes ago, so, you know, I'm over it now. My daughter passed out, so, you know, obviously that's my main concern is, you know, making sure that she has a good time, you know, making sure that she remembers tonight and it's memorable for her. So, you know, that's really what's on my mind right now. But once I get home, of course, then I'm going to start, you know, watch the fight and start to decompress and take it all in.
And it all goes back to what my mom used to say, Rome was not built in a day. It all takes work. You have to continue to work, and you have to understand while you are working that it's not going to happen overnight, that it's going to take time. And with the effort and with the applied work.
Just
content. I think this one, I know I wanted to get out there and put him away, which I could. I hit him with some really, really big shots, but this one was about outclassing him, carrying the fight from start to finish and just letting him know, like I said to him, you have to live with the fact that in this era that you were in, you were great, but there was someone that was better, so I just wanted to outclass him from start to finish. Of course, I would have liked to finish, but dominating him like that from start to finish was satisfying.
With great power comes great responsibility. And I was not the guy who, I didn't grow up thinking, you know what, I'm gonna be the first of this, the first of that. When I was growing up in Nigeria, there was no way in hell you could tell me that you would grow up, live in America, and become the UFC, the first African-born champ of the world.
Yeah, of course you got to create a character, people to ride to. Like, look at The Rock. The Rock he was like 2-3 different guys before he became The Rock. Like, you have to find that niche. But that's what's taking over now, to where people aren't necessarily really tuned in or moved by wanting to know the real you, your real story. And that's what I aim to do. Like, in mixed martial, when I got into this was about me competing at the highest level, me being true to myself.